Hi, friends, and welcome back to Elevate with Erica, where motivation meets transformation and where we're going to get real about what it takes to grow and to heal and to rise. And I'm just so grateful that you're here today because this message has been pressing on my heart lately. A leader who loves the status quo soon becomes a follower. A leader who loves the status quo soon becomes a follower. And I want to unpack that with you today because I think it applies to so much more than leadership in a boardroom or in a business. It applies to the way that we're living our everyday lives and the way that we parent, the way that we mother, the way that we care for ourselves, the way that we show up in our marriages, our health, our faith, our purpose. So, I want you to listen in as we talk through what it really means to lead your own lives, and then also what happens when we stop leading our lives. You don't have to be CEO of a company to be a leader, right? You're already the CEO of your own life. And every decision that you make, every time you get back up after falling, every time you choose courage over comfort, you're leading. But what happens when we stop choosing courage? And it's so easy to slip into that, isn't it? What happens when we start living on autopilot, stuck in the same routines and saying, this is just how I am, or this is just the way life is now? I'm going to tell you what happens. We stop leading and we start following. Not intentionally, right? But slowly, silently, one passive choice at a time or one passive thought at a time. And we start following the version of ourselves that no longer fits. We start following what's familiar instead of what's fulfilling. And over time, the life we're living no longer reflects the life that we wanted to create, right? We realize just how fast time goes. We realize just how much life has slipped through our fingers, and we're kind of left wondering, how did I get here? And that just gave me goosebumps. And I'm sure so many of you can relate to that feeling. So let's make this practical. In reference to parenting, in reference to motherhood, are you showing up for your kids with intention? Or are you just surviving the day to day, forgetting who you are in the process? And you know what? Sometimes survival mode is just necessary, right? I mean, let's just be real. Being a working parent, all the additional commuting, and then you throw in kids after school activities, and then you throw in homework. Sometimes you're just surviving through a day. But we got to be careful that we're not surviving through weeks, months, years, right? So I want you to ask yourself, are you showing up your with your kids with intention and forgetting who you are and the parent that you want to be in that process? In your marriage, are you growing together or are you just coexisting? Are you just kind of trying to keep the peace instead of nurturing connection? And maybe that's because you're just surviving the parenthood piece, right? And so you just need peace in your marriage because you got enough chaos going on in the parenting piece that you guys as a couple are not nurturing your connection. What about in your health and wellness journey? Are you actually listening to what your body needs now? Or are you stuck doing what used to work 5 years ago, even though you're not getting results anymore from that? And I'm going to break this one down for you because I'll be honest with you, this happened to me. And I've been talking about it a lot in my social media. In 2024, my body changed. I was still working out, still eating clean, still doing all of the right things, but the results stopped showing up. And I had been doing those things since January 2016, right? And I was still doing all those things. And in 2024, those results, they stopped coming. And if anything, I started going a little backwards. I felt inflamed. I felt tired. I felt disconnected from my own body. And I was like, is this because I'm getting ready to turn 40? I'll be turning 40 next month. Is this because I'm getting ready to turn 40? Is this because of all of the stress of the 2023, 2024 season of my life? Like, what's happening? And you know what I did? I did what most people do. I started pushing harder. I'm like, I got it. I need more restriction. I got to eat even better than what I'm doing. Like, no more cheats. I got to go harder in my workouts. I need to incorporate more cardio. Does this sound familiar to you? More restriction, more discipline. And I tried to outwork what my body was telling me instead of listening to my body. That was me clinging to the status quo. And that's not leadership of my life, that's fear. And it wasn't until I leaned into change and that I subsequently discovered these bioactive precision peptides that I have been using since November of 2024. And I adjusted my habits. I gave myself grace. I gave these peptides time to heal my body from the inside out. It wasn't until then that things shifted. And that's when I got back into the driver's seat. And honestly, that same thing happened in my business too. I was afraid to pivot. I was afraid to let go of what had once worked, but staying stuck would have meant following a version of success that no longer aligned with me and where I want to go with my life today. And let me speak to the woman listening today or the person listening today who feels this tension in her bones but hasn't said it out loud yet. God didn't design you to play it safe. He didn't create you to settle for, here's our word, ladies, fine. He didn't create you to settle for fine. Comfort is cozy, but it doesn't grow you. And faith, real, raw faith, it's going to ask you to move. Even when you're scared, even when the path isn't lit. And I know in my heart that building my relationship with God in the pain, in my pit that I was in the fall of 2024 is a huge reason why my life has evolved so much over the past year and a half. Because faith asks you to move, even when you don't see him working, even when you don't know what the plans are. It asks you to move, even when you're scared. And sometimes we confuse peace with staying where we are, right? We confuse peace with just like sitting stagnant. This is a tough season, so I'm going to just sit back. But God's peace can go with you into new territory too, into the unknown, into your next level. So if you're in a season where things feel hard, but something in you knows that you were made for more, I don't want you to ignore that. I don't want you to ignore it. Even though you're in a tough season, don't ignore it because that's leadership. That's leadership of your life, and that's the Holy Spirit nudging you forward. So I have a call to action for you, friend. And these questions are for your next quiet moment, or maybe even right now. If you want to pause after I ask you each question and really think about it, please do. Or come back to these at another time with a journal and a pen and really give thought to these responses. Or if it helps you just to sit quietly with your eyes closed and just go over your response in your own mind, that works too. I want you to ask yourself, where in my life have I accepted the status quo when I knew I was made for more? Where in my life have I accepted the status quo when I knew I was made for more? Question 2, am I leading my life right now or just following what's familiar? You got to call yourself out with that one, right? Am I leading my life right now or just following what's familiar? Am I just following what my friends are doing? Am I just mimicking what the couples I surround myself are doing within their marriages? Am I just thinking the way that my friend group thinks? Am I just absorbing their thoughts as mine? Am I just seeking fulfillment and purpose in my career based on what is familiar and accepted by the people around me? Or am I really pursuing something that fulfills me? Number 3, if I were leading from my highest, most aligned self today, what would I start? And what would I stop? If I were leading from my highest, most aligned self today, what would I start and what would I stop? And the last one, what's one small decision that I can make today that disrupts the drift? What's a decision you can make today that disrupts the drift? The you that's just kind of floating along, not leading life, right? What's something you can do today to disrupt that, to get back in the driver's seat? Remember, leadership isn't about big, flashy changes. It's the small, bold, daily decisions, the ones that no one else sees. They're often not celebrated, but that you feel. And the ones that whisper, I'm still becoming. I'm not done growing yet. And he is not done with me yet. And listen, I know it's easier to stay where it's familiar, to keep saying maybe later, to pretend you're okay with where things are, even when your soul's quietly begging for more. But here's what I know. The longer you cling to the status quo, the further you drift from where you were made to be. You were made to lead, to evolve, to rise, to elevate. So let this episode be the one that nudges you back into the driver's seat. Let this be your reminder that playing small and staying stuck doesn't serve you or anyone else. Thank you for spending time with me today. And if this message resonated with you, I want you to share it with a friend. Let's elevate together. It's no fun to get to the top alone, right? Let's bring people with us. So you can screenshot this episode and tag me on Instagram at Miss_Erica_Renee and tell me where you're choosing to lead in your life this week. Keep showing up with purpose and keep elevating. Until next episode, friends. E. Hey there, friends. I'm excited to share something that's been a game changer for my health and wellness journey. Like we have elevated, friends. Make Wellness Bioactive Precision Peptides. Now, if you're wondering what are bioactive peptides, let me break it down for you. These are the cutting edge supplements designed to support your body from the inside out. And we are the first company to introduce bioactive precision peptides to the market. They are totally sourced from nature, which is why they don't have to be injected like synthetic peptides. Because they are sourced from nature, they can survive in the digestive tract and work their magic. Seriously, it feels like magic. So whether you're looking to improve your energy, tackle your to-dos like a ninja with better focus, get better sleep, build more lean muscle mass, lose fat, promote radiant skin, or just feel your absolute best overall, then these peptides are going to help you level up. Here's the best part. Make Wellness takes the guesswork out of supplementation. Their formulas are backed by science and precision crafted to give you exactly what your body needs. No fluff, no fillers, just real results. Backed by billions of dollars in research and over 9 years in human clinical trials. And guess what? You can grab these life-enhancing peptides directly through me. To learn more or place an order, just head to the link in the show notes or to my Instagram channel, Peptides Restock, where I'm giving you the inside scoop on all the products, restocks, and the amazing testimonials coming in daily. I'll guide you through the options and help you choose what fits your goals best. Head over to my Instagram at Miss Erica Renee and click on that Peptides Restock channel. Let's elevate together with Make Wellness because you deserve to feel unstoppable. So don't wait, reach out today and let's start this journey toward a stronger, healthier, elevated you.